Good morning.
Good morning.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Adam Emmanuel Senke Brown-Bryant. This is my second and final year as a Salisbury student, and the culmination of education, friendships, and extracurricular competition that I have experienced has been second to none. My love for the school and the students and the faculty that give it life, in fact, have inspired me to talk today. I strongly feel that Salisbury School is in a league of its own, excluding the organic atmosphere or Olympic-level facilities, but with regards to our genuine wholeheartedness. However, ignorance can and does affect those with the best intentions. The reality is that students represent many different cultures and countries, and the idea of being familiar with everyone's background doesn't seem possible. The solution to this dilemma is adopting an attitude where we aren't afraid to listen and see the world through other people's eyes. Today, I want you to see the world through my eyes. I am tired of pretending to laugh to hide the hurt that I am feeling. I am tired of biting my tongue when my people are insulted in some fashion. Whether it be intentional or by accident, the cut is just as deep. This morning, I will address several taboo topics and statements that I have heard from people on this campus. Before I start, I would like to clarify that I am not trying to guilt anybody or place blame. This should be strictly informative. I'd like to thank all of you in advance for being engaged, as this will get uncomfortable as I delve into the following topics. Just please keep in mind that this awkwardness you feel is something that I and many other students experience every day. Topic 1, education. This prompt is for the many times I have heard affirmative action to be racist. The average income for a white family is just shy of $60,000, while the average income for black families is just over $30,000. Additionally, due to slavery and the subsequent Jim Crow era, the vast majority of black families only have 1 or 2 maximum generations of college graduates. Money is undoubtedly linked to education, and as a result of the aforementioned injustices, we see a race in need of compensation in the form of affirmative action. Make no mistake, it is for a lack of opportunity rather than ability. Topic 2, underachieving and poor lifestyle choices. This prompt was inspired by the passive-aggressive phrase, well, maybe if black people didn't ... There are several variations of this, but the crux is solely blaming black people for the social and economic predicaments they find themselves in. Education is key. I alluded to it before vaguely, but I would like to explain why this is. I'm a firm believer that racism adapts. As times change and racial bias is considered socially unacceptable, more insidious avenues are explored. Institutionalized racism is the harsher punishments for people of color in both judicial and academic environments. In America, the money goes to the best schools because they produce the best students. However, this is an excuse to neglect the schools in urban environments. Combine this with harsher punishments in school and in court, and you have an effective deterrent from education. Without education, it is impossible to own anything. And if a race does not own anything, they have no power. Please take a minute to name all the black-owned businesses you are familiar with. In economics, there is a term called bouncing. Now, what this economic jargon means is that money is cycled throughout the community. For instance, if a dollar bounces 7 times, that means 7 different people within a community have spent that dollar. Bouncing is a crucial component to a thriving community, and the recommended number of bounces is 8. In Asian communities, the number of bounces is 16. In white communities, it is 12. In black communities, it is 2. Black businesses have been blackballed for long before you and I were born. Following World War I, Tulsa boasted one of the most affluent African-American communities in the country, known as the Greenwood District. This thriving business district and surrounding residential area was referred to as Black Wall Street. The community was burned to the ground by an armed white mob, killing 300 African Americans and injuring 800 in 1921. A lot of black people don't know who they are. We have essentially been ripped from our home and culture and have managed to create a hybrid, a mixture of memories and traditions passed down by our ancestors. The athletic, dangerous, endowed, ultra-machismo black male and the obnoxious, gregarious, promiscuous, and flamboyant black female stereotypes are incredibly damaging. What's worse is I am subjected to these stereotypes by some of my closest friends. Here. These stereotypes usually come in the form of acting white or acting black. I can vividly remember coming home from school sometimes up to 3 days a week crying. Other black students would often beat me up and harass me because I acted white. By acting white, I mean saying thank you, arriving on time, dressing well, and speaking properly. After a while, I felt isolated. I didn't know why they hated me, and it made me hate myself. I knew my parents worked hard to provide me with a good education, but I didn't truly understand the importance of education. The bullying continued into my freshman year of high school, which I entered on a full merit scholarship. I stopped going to school, skipping days and not paying attention in class, thinking if I acted black, I'd be accepted. The result was my nearly failing out of high school. Boarding school was the only option left for me. The summer before my sophomore year, my family went to Texas to visit my grandfather who was dying of lung cancer. He knew about my academic standing and issue and asked to speak with me alone. I felt ashamed of myself for having this be the way he saw his grandson before he died. His voice was barely audible, yet still stronger than the grasp he had around my arm. However, I will never forget what he told me. Adam, the blackest thing you can be is smart. And from that moment, I promised myself to be unapologetically black. Topic 3, the N-word. This prompt is a response to the double standard argument, saying that if black people don't want white people saying it, then they shouldn't say it. First and foremost, I need not delve into the inhumane derivative of the word and its heinous use on black people. That being said, black people have since reclaimed the word, and in its process stripped white people of their power over the word and transformed it into a term of endearment. Now it is important to note that this term represents a struggle, a lifetime burden and blessing of sun-kissed skin. The word is reserved for those who experience the isolating feeling of racism and therefore deserve the warmth of family, understanding, and compassion. How would you feel if you served in Vietnam and someone who didn't serve wore the same uniform? That person doesn't know the horrors of war, he only wants to reap the benefits. There is a saying, everyone wants to be a Negro, but nobody wants to be a Negro. Meaning everybody wants to be cool, but nobody wants to experience the injustice. Topic 4. Racism is over and we have a black president. In the 1960s, black people owned 2.6% of the wealth in America. Over 50 years later, and this number has barely moved. Football fields and basketball courts are just modified cotton fields. Rich white racists like Donald Sterling, the previous owner of the Clippers, control things from behind the scenes while maintaining the illusion that black people dominate the sports world. The real money goes to the owners and investors of the teams. This is true in the entertainment industry as well. If you have ever listened to old school rap, it was unfiltered. The word cracker was used just as much as the N-word. I wonder who decided cracker was offensive and the N-word was not. It is all about the self-degradation that whites want blacks to experience. Ask yourself how many slain bodies of black children have you seen on TV and the internet? Now how many white children? Topic 5. Black girls are ugly. This prompt is pretty self-explanatory. I've heard this around campus countless times, sometimes disguised as a matter of preference, and sometimes more blatant. European beauty standards are extremely damaging and help to promote that worthlessness feeling. It is evident in society with skin whitening cream, constant adoration of straight hair or blue eyes, and many other features. However, for some reason, tan skin is desirable, but black skin is not. Kids here have told me they hate dark skin on a woman. This is because they are conditioned to think so. I believe that from an early age, children are taught through society and their parents that dark skin is inferior. I'd like to show you a video to sound my claim.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll? Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and she has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you? Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
it ironic that these children who still believe in iconic fictional characters such as Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy are painfully aware of the ethnic hierarchy in America? Experts say that it is easiest to learn a new language as a child due to the brain being able to absorb and retain more information during adolescence. These children don't even know what racism is, but have already been subconsciously affected just by living in America. What would you tell those children? That they have a preference? The purpose of this chapel talk is to challenge what you think you know, to really look at the root of the problem to try and find a solution. Topic 6, cultural appropriation. This prompt is not my attempt at being annoyingly politically correct. It is a real issue. Similar to feminism, while it is an incredibly important issue, some of the points are not explained properly or taken too literally to the point where the movement begins to lose credibility. Nevertheless, cultural appropriation doesn't suggest that a food, article of clothing, art, or hairstyle belongs to a certain race. Instead, it exposes how different reactions and intentions are involved when different races use a hairstyle or etc. For instance, the artist Justin Bieber had dreadlocks and the media regarded it as trendy and adventurous. Another artist, a black woman named Zendaya, also had dreadlocks. However, the media portrayed her as unkempt and unprofessional. All cultural appropriation calls for is the equal treatment and the respect people of different cultures deserve. I am up here today saying what most of the black kids here will not. I am not better than any of them for doing so, but I want to explain why this might be the first time you are hearing of these issues. I remember listening to the halls after the Butch Graves gave his eye-opening speech. The subtle hostility displayed by some of the students was equally eye-opening. The black kids here don't want their reputation and relationships to be tarnished for speaking their mind. We don't want to be judged for being ourselves. This chapel talk is not divisive. I am not bringing up issues, I am shining light on them. If you disagree or wish to have a conversation with me or another black student in your friend group, I encourage this, as that is the first step. Ignoring the problem only creates a facade of unity, and our school motto, Esse Quam Videre, is centered around being genuine. Your room is still dirty if you stuff your clothes under the bed. As the South African social activist Desmond Tutu once said, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. I am confident that all of you have the strength of character to stand up when you hear an ignorant or racist remark. I would not have spoken today if I didn't have faith in my brothers. I hope I have enlightened some of you on how your words and actions can affect other people, and would love for students of other races to speak in the future, so we may take one step closer to becoming the inclusive and tight-knit community I know we can be. It took me an afternoon to write this speech, but a lifetime to build up the courage to finally be myself. Thank you.